days, a lot of men, I mean most men want a lady who is financially independent. They want a lady that has skill or has some sort of has a job. They don't want a liability. They don't want somebody who would think that marriage is a meal ticket. They don't want somebody who would think that marriage is a financial settlement. Hello everyone, welcome everyone. I welcome you once again to my channel. How are we doing? Thank you so much. If you're just new to my channel, if this is the first time you're seeing this face, thank you so much. I am Evangel Anyao. Thank you for stopping by. And if you are a returnee, if you have been coming and watching me and going, thank you so much. If you have subscribed, and if you have not, please consider to subscribe. Today is the very first collaboration, it's a collaboration or a challenge where I'm going to be doing on this channel. Yes, I'm going to be doing this video with ChifraneJournal. She's a YouTuber. She's a Nigerian YouTuber based here in Saudi Arabia also, and she does a lot of videos on marriage, on relationship, on things that are happening, I mean the reality of life. And she also does vlogs, so I want you to go to her channel right now. I'm going to leave her link in the description, and I'm also going to leave her channel name on your screen. Please do me a favor by going to her to subscribe to her and watch her own part of the video. Today I'm going to be discussing about advantages and disadvantages of late marriage for women, and she's going to take care of the early marriage. This is early stroke late marriage, so I'm going to be taking that of late marriage, and she's going to be taking that of early marriage. So I mean it will be very, very exciting. After watching this video, you also head to her channel and watch the advantages and disadvantages of early marriage. Yes, a lot of people will say, I mean, it is not okay to marry late, while some still find it very, very interesting and very, very advantageous to marry late. And the thing is this: there are so many causes of late marriage. Sometimes an individual just wants to marry late. I mean, it's self-induced late marriage. They just want to, I mean, marry at a certain age. We even say is when you're up to 40 years and you are not yet married, then it's considered as late marriage. In the past, our mothers and our grandmothers, they actually married very early. By 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, they're already married and start bearing children. And I mean, things have changed. This is the era of technology. This is digital era. People are not doing things the same way they were doing it in the past. So a lot of people these days want to take their time, I mean, to evolve. They want to take their time for self-awareness. They want to take their time to discover themselves before they go into marriage. Remember, marriage is for life. I mean, that's what it should be. I mean, it should be for life. Forget that there are so many, I mean, the rate of divorce is getting higher and higher, but marriage is a full-time commitment. I mean, is a commitment that you should make for life. That is an ideal marriage. But sometimes things may crop up and people will want to, I mean, go their separate ways. So I'm going to be talking about certain things that may lead to late marriage. Like I said before, one might be maybe the lady wants to discover herself more. The lady wants to discover herself more. Maybe she wants to have a more matured relationship, and sometimes she wants to have a very good self-awareness before she goes into any relationship, so as to better understand her partner and have a more tolerable relationship. And sometimes some people just, I mean, marry late, not because of any fault of theirs, maybe because of some health issues. Yes, I know a lot of people who are, I mean, who are diabetic, maybe type 1 diabetes, some people who are secular, some people who are, I mean, who have other diseases, and this just made them to marry late. And some, I mean, may not even marry at all because of these ailments. And then there are also people who perchance started a live-in relationship. You know, it's very, very common these days. You will see two people living together for 10 years, living together for 15 years before they tie the knots. I mean, it's very, very common. People want to know themselves. They want to know if they can if they can tolerate each other. They want to know if they are compatible before they make that commitment. I'm not saying it's the best thing to do, but I'm saying this is what happens these days. A lot of people are cohabiting. A lot of partners are cohabiting even before tying the knot. You see people who have been in a relationship for 5 years, for 10 years, and yet they have not tied the knot. These are things that may cause late marriage. While some have even given birth without tying the knot, it is still late marriage, even though you have given birth. As long as you're not legally married, it is late marriage. And also another thing that may cause late marriage is, especially for those who want to maybe achieve some skills, some things in life. They want to better themselves in terms of in terms of their economic status or financial status. They want to better themselves in terms of their skill acquisition. What skill do they have? They want to better themselves in terms of their education. Yes, these are things that could make somebody to go into late marriage, because they want to achieve these things before they say I do. And also some people just purposely just wanted to marry late because they feel by then they will be more mature to handle all the challenges that may come with this commitment we call marriage. And another thing that could cause late marriage is when an individual has suffered several heartbreaks. Maybe she has been in several relationships and they are not working out, and she goes in and comes out heartbroken. Then they want to delay their marriage because they just want to make the right decision. They don't want to go into any relationship that will just end up breaking their hearts once more. So these are the things that may cause late marriage. Now, are there some advantages of late marriage? Yes, there are. It is not all about bad things when it comes to late marriage. There are some advantages of late marriage. For instance, somebody who wants to discover herself. Self-discovery is an important thing in any woman's life. That is what I preach. Discover yourself. Have a very good self-awareness. Know what works for you and what will not work for you. And by doing so, you will make a better choice for you, not for another person. And another advantage is that the more we grow in age, the more we get mature, the more we get wisdom and knowledge and all the tools that will help us to get properly equipped for this commitment called marriage. A lot of people go into marriage without even knowing what it is all about. So sometimes to have that little delay, this is now self-induced, to have that little delay to discover yourself, to have a better self-awareness, to know what is good for you, to know what you want in a partner. It is a good thing. It is a good thing, because it is even said that people who marry late are likely not to get divorced, at least in the first 5 years. When people must have loved themselves enough, then they're going into marriage, they know that yes, we have actually enjoyed our singlehood, we have actually enjoyed the spinsterhood. Now it's time for us to commit. So some of the disadvantages is that there might be pressure, societal pressure. There might be societal pressure, and once there is societal pressure, you will see anxiety creeping in. Remember, you have so many nosy relatives who will call you, not necessarily because they want to know how you're doing, but they just want to say, when we go tie that should be now. They just want to hear, oh, when are we drinking? Oh, when we go eat rice now? They will just want to ask you all those questions, knowing that they don't even know how you feel about all these things. So these are part of the things that may lead somebody to be pressurized, maybe going into marriage and then maybe making a wrong choice and all that. So the pressure is really so much, and it is still this societal pressure that make women go from one spiritual home to the other. They go from one herbalist to the other. They go from just anywhere it is that are saying, oh, when you come here you get a husband, making it look like this is a real fight. Yes, it's still the same societal pressure, because the society has placed it that, oh, at a certain age a woman should be married. At a certain age a woman should have given birth. At a certain age your kids should be in primary, secondary. At a certain age your kids should be in the university. So by the time you follow all these things, anxiety will come in, depression will come in, and sometimes people have series of mental illnesses without even knowing it, just because they are not yet married. Now, this is one of the disadvantages of late marriage. And then another disadvantage of late marriage, I mean, we cannnot overemphasize on this, is the health part of it, the medical part of it, the biological part of it. They said the biological clock of a woman is always ticking. But with this digital era, when we have IVF, we have surrogacy, we have other assisted fertility procedures, so it's not so much of a problem these days, but it is still a problem, because how many people can afford surrogacy? How many people can afford IVF? How many people can afford all those assisted reproductive techniques? How many people can afford them? Let's say in our setting, in Nigerian setting, how many people can afford that? So this is where, I mean, it pains most. This is where it pinches most, because some women who married late will find it so difficult. I mean, not so difficult, let me not use the word so difficult, but they will find it a little difficult getting pregnant, and they may even find it a little difficult keeping the baby and all that, because it only takes miracle at a certain age for a woman to conceive, because your peak as a woman for ovulation, your peak for your reproductive peak should be between 18 to 25. So as you're getting to 25 to 30, it drops. As you're getting beyond 30, it drops. So as you're adding that age, your reproductive peak is just dropping. Remember, all these things are made up of hormones, and there is something that is called menopause. That is when the reproductive hormones, I mean, just take a rest. So if a woman did not marry early enough, she might run into this issue of medical problems that has to do with conception, that has to do with, I mean, a lot of things. A woman who is giving birth her first baby at age 40, of course, you know, a lot of things might be anticipated. So this is also another disadvantage. And also remember, by the time a woman gets married at that age, also the sexual activity will also drop, because all these things are all about hormone. It's not just about conception, it's not just about, because some people may marry at that age, they don't want any child, but they want to, I mean, have fun with their partners. So the sexual activity also reduces, because that is the hormones working. I know a lady who said she must attend to the peak of her educational career, academic career, before she gets married. That might not be a very good decision, knowing that she's no longer young. So when you're taking such decision, just consider that, I mean, you could combine it. And then if you're in the habit of being chosen, well, maybe being chosen when you are young, remember that a time will come, all those men who were flocking around you will no longer be there. You will be the one to go to the mountains, you will be the one to go to the prophets, to the spiritualists, to be asking them to find your husband. Meanwhile, you saw your husband and neglected him. So be careful when you are still young, be careful when you are dating, be careful when you are in several relationships, so that you don't make that mistake of dating your husband without marrying him. So try and develop yourself financially, develop yourself in terms of being mature, develop yourself in terms of your knowledge, acquire as much knowledge as you can, but also remember that your clock is also ticking. So even if there is IVF, there is surrogacy, there are other assisted reproductive techniques, remember they are not so cheap. So when you are doing whatever you're doing, just rest assured that you could combine it. That is the way we are wired. That's the way women are wired. You could do 2, 3, 4 things at the same time and still do them well. So on this note, I'm not going to be talking much about it. Please do not forget to go to ChifraneJournal's channel, subscribe to her channel, and watch her own part of the video. Please watch her own part of the video. This is late marriage. She is going to be doing a lot on early marriage. Thank you so much, and do not forget to subscribe if you have not done so. Like, comment, tell me what you feel, some of the advantages or disadvantages of late marriage. Tell me what could cause it and how we can provide solutions to these problems. Thank you so much, and God bless you. I'll see you in my next. Bye.